Yeah, I started recording. Yep.
Asking Neelam, do we need dates at this point for the quarterly schedule?
I think we do yes or no. Isn't that Jim? Jim is here, yeah.
Okay.
Did we do that or did we not do that? I think this is just the routine stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can put in the other column that says date completed, or actually the when column. You can put in today's date, but then next time you'd update it to the next committee meeting.
4/24,
Keep track.
27.
Okay.
I mean, that really the point is that the committee meets, so it's, as long as the committee's meeting, it's not terribly important to track the date.
Okay.
The second one, Greg, is review and update 2016 executive order revision as needed. This is 2.1.
Is it still in the revision stage, or did we finalize that as a commission?
Well, the commission was never able to take a final vote on the last set of revisions. So that
Will that be at our May meeting?
No, I don't think it's really in a place where the commission can vote on it. Yeah, and I see Terry's got her hand up, so I'll let her jump in.
I think you're muted, Terry.
How about that?
We can hear you.
Okay. In talking with the executive committee and Jim, we might consider another revision, including adding, if a chair is unable to attend a meeting, an executive meeting, if there can be a designee to attend on his or her behalf, or we designate a co-chair. So I'm kind of glad it hasn't been completely, accepted. Maybe we can talk about that, including that at some point. I think that would be important because our attendance is a little low, I think, with our executive committee. Does that make sense?
So, I mean, we need to, I guess we can put that on our committee meeting for May or not.
Well, I think it's definitely something we need to talk about. And we do have an item on the agenda on May 15th to talk about attendance, I believe, don't we, Jim?
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
For the committee specifically, though, Greg, I mean, I think if the committee wants to kind of take back up the previous version of the bylaws revision and look at it, and then also look at including what Terry was just talking about.
Okay.
The committee can certainly do that. I think that's going to be a bit of a longer process.
Okay.
Is the main reason that the commission shelved the previous version was the previous version had references to the staff, and under the the interpretation of the finance administration lawyers, the staff are no longer staff of the commission, and so the commission wouldn't have any authority over staff, and we could just never get to a point where the commission was ready to vote on it.
Jim, what would our next steps be with that document then?
Well, I think if the committee wants to take it back up, it can certainly do that, and it could take up the last version that didn't get approved and start from there and think about making revisions and changes and updates. Or it could start with the most recently approved version,
Mhm.
which is the version that was approved at the commission retreat in, I think it was 2023 or 2024. I don't remember exactly which one. It was the one that we last had in Knoxville.
2024, I think.
So I guess my question would be, what would we want to have this ready for the retreat in October, or is that what our goal is? Or yeah, I guess some timeline, I guess, is what I'm looking for.
I mean, you could, if you, the bylaws revising process takes a fair amount of time. So you might be able to get it done and ready for the commission to review at the retreat. I can't say 100% sure that that's a realistic timeline, because I'm not really
Okay.
sure
Okay.
how long it would take for the committee to review it. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to shoot for the retreat, you can certainly do that. And you know, if it's not ready by then, you could just push it to the following meeting in 2027.
So I'm looked at it and made some recommendations. Is that maybe that's where we need to start? I don't think we need to go on the recommendations of the executive committee, right? I mean, or start with the recommendations of the executive committee.
Yeah, well,
Or not.
the last version that didn't get approved but was in process, I don't think the executive committee reviewed that one. It was just done by
Oh, okay. Okay.
by this committee, the board development committee.
Okay.
And that is let's see, it looks like the last version that I see in our files was dated August of 2024, and the version that was approved most recently was approved at the commission retreat in 2023. So that's the most current approved version. But again, that version that was approved in 2023 does have references to the staff and the commission's oversight responsibilities of the staff.
Oh.
I mean, as follow-up, the staff can send that version from August of 2024, and that could be the starting point. And the committee members can take a look at it and discuss. Well, what we can do is we can send the currently approved version from 2023, and then the last edit from 2024 of August of 2024, and the committee can kind of compare and contrast and decide where to go from there.
I'm sorry, Terry.
No, Jim covered it. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. What else, Neelam? On there, okay.
So now after bylaws, we have orientation, conduct orientation, assign mentors to new commission members. That is 3.2. 3.3 is Jim puts commission handbook files on cloud. We don't have on cloud anymore. Review, restructure, and update commission handbook. So it talks about the orientation and the handbook review and restructure and putting handbook online.
So this is my question.
I don't know if handbook online, long time ago, there was one board member who was working on it, but after that, I don't know.
Yeah, and Greg, I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your question.
Is there work still to be done on this process of doing the online handbook? Or where we are?
Well, the handbook has been available online,
Okay.
and staff update it kind of on an annual basis,
Okay.
primarily to include the any changes in the commission member list and contact information. So we do that. Sorry, I'm trying to read the what's in the plan, but it's a little bit small. So I think if the committee wants to, and Neelam, is this the version of the plan from the most recent retreat?
That is the one that 2628, the version that I just had, just the part of BDC.
I mean the plan that you're displaying on the screen.
Yeah,
So,
that is the one that's the most recent that I was able to find.
Well, so the part of the issue is what was in the notes from the retreat, this past retreat. There were only notes from the state plan part of this annual plan. That's why everything in this is in italics, is because I didn't have any notes from the retreat about what the committee wanted to do about these things. So all of this is essentially just copied and pasted from 2025. But I don't know if the committee reviewed this stuff at the last retreat in order to make any updates. Again, because all I have in terms of documentation is just the stuff about the state plan, which is, I think, on maybe the next page or the page after that. So I don't know if anybody remembers whether or not the committee reviewed all these things, because the stuff that's on the screen right now is just kind of the routine stuff that the committee does from year to year, and then I think on the following pages is the keep going, Neelam. Yeah, that's the part now that gets into the actual state plan and the things that the committee talked about doing for the state plan as a committee. And you can see the things, there's several things that need to be kind of filled in. But the stuff above it, I couldn't find anything to show that there were any changes or updates to that other part.
Okay.
So I think, so one of the things the committee might want to consider doing is like reviewing that stuff that's above, that's in italics, and deciding whether or not you want to keep all the different things that are in there. And if not, delete the things that you don't want to keep. And then if you want to keep things, update them to make sure that they reflect what you want to do for the current year.
So my question is that something we can do at our May meeting? Committee time.
Well, we're not going to have breakout time at the May meeting. The committees will have an opportunity to do brief reports, but there's quite a few votes that need to happen and quite a few discussions that the entire commission needs to be involved
Okay.
in. So we
Okay.
won't have breakout time. So my recommendation is one, for this meeting, one is to make sure that we leave enough time to have the discussion about the vice chair and then public comment. But what you could do is, Neelam, if you could scroll back up to the annual plan part, and Greg and Yvonne, I don't know how comfortable you feel with just two of you being on the call today of making decisions about this, but you could start just going through and talking about whether or not those listed activities are things that you want to keep. Because again, this is just copied and pasted from 2005, but doesn't really necessarily reflect what you wanted to do for 2006 or 2026.
Gotcha. Yvonne, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. Jim, you'll have to tell me. I don't know if we have time today to go through that, or if that's
Right.
something that we need to give the committee as a whole a deadline to
Right.
give their input back to Greg. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you've got enough time to go through the whole thing because I think it's what, three pages worth of stuff.
Okay.
So I don't think you've really got enough time to go through the whole thing. I mean, you could start on it, and without necessarily making decisions for the entire committee, you and Greg could say, yeah, we think this is a good thing, or no, we think we need to propose deleting this. So we could just go through until we get where we've got maybe about 20 minutes left. And then you could stop and then go to the other business. And what we could do for the purposes of this document, kind of on that left-hand side, we could highlight things, like if there's things you think the committee needs to think about deleting, we can just highlight it in yellow for right now, and then send it out to the full committee and say, hey, here are the things that the small group talked about potentially deleting for 2026 and get people's input on it.
Okay. All right. We can start. Let's see how far we can get. Just like I said, I got to be back inside and at 2, so we need to have time to talk about the vice chair information.
Do you want me to read it to you? I know you said you
Please,
had.
yeah, I can't see it. Yeah, I can't.
You
see
can't
it.
see it. Okay, so you want me to start with 3 then? Because I think we talked about orientation,
Right.
and then go down a little bit. Okay, let's see. Yeah, applicants committee time. Oh, so it also talks about the request each commission member to ask at least one applicant to apply.
Yeah, sorry, Neelam. I think we need to go back to the handbook piece because there's that one, the on-cloud language needs to be updated. But 2, there's that add piece in handbook for DEI, and that's just not something that's realistic. And I mean, so I would highlight that particular cell as something that might need to be
looked at.
Maybe the wording gets changed or something.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jim. All right, so we can highlight that one in yellow then?
Yeah, I don't know who's controlling the screen, but
I think Anthony is controlling the screen, so
yeah, so it's the it's the line right below that, Anthony. Yeah, the one that has DEI in it. Because I think review, restructure, and update the handbook is fine. I don't think that's going to cause any problems, specifically that DEI piece.
Okay, if you can go down, Anthony, for me, please.
And sorry, Terry has her hand up.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Up above where it says, mentors, assign mentors to new commission members. I don't know if we've done that. I think it's a great idea. But I wonder what we want to do about that. And if we want to keep it, maybe assign, a specific time of the year when that's actually done.
I think we need to keep it for sure.
I agree. And of course, there's not a specific time of the year when we get like new members, right, Jim?
No, unfortunately, although we do have a group of new members right now, because we have, in addition to Terry getting her reappointment, we got 2 new appointments at the kind of around the same time. And then we'll also have a new, at least one new ex officio member. So, and we also have openings for a couple other ex officios. So we should have, 3 to 5 people kind of right around now-ish, that if you want to do the mentor program, certainly now would be a good time to be thinking about it. Not that you have to go into depth at this meeting, but if you want to do that, now is a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's something we need to keep as well. All right.
So Jim, it does say that Jim puts commission handbook files on cloud. Do we have on cloud now?
No, we're not using OnCloud anymore. I'm not really sure what I think maybe the purpose of that was so that the committee could access it to review and propose changes and make edits and that kind of thing. If that is the purpose of that one, then what we could do instead is we could put the files on SharePoint and then make those available to the committee so that the committee could go in and review the handbook and make suggestions and edits. And they could do that right in the documents. And we could track changes and see what everybody says about potential changes.
Okay, well, that's great. All right, so I'm gonna go down. Applicants. Anthony, if you can just put a little bit more left, I think it's missing. Is it 4.1? Yeah. 4.1 applicants request each commission member to ask at least one person to apply. And that is kind of board table at the conference that we do every year. So organize and distribute applications, review and rank applications. That's normally we do at the retreat. So Greg, now it's to you. What you want to say about that?
One.
I'm sorry, I think you're breaking.
Which
up.
item were you referring to? Each commission.
4.1 applicants, yes. That, we used to have a table, we still do, I think, a board table at the conference where we have applications for whoever wants to apply for a board membership. So I think it's request each commission member to ask at least one person to apply.
In my opinion, I don't know what
Keith
Yvonne and Terry think.
You broke up a little for me, Greg, but I think we need to keep it.
I said keep. Yeah.
Okay. Keep. Okay, well, that's good.
There's one more
Number-
thing. can you go back up to 3.3 or, okay, okay, 3.5. Did this committee review feedback from the retreat? Have you guys already done that?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Okay. I think it would be helpful if maybe there was a time period, maybe say if the retreat is in maybe like a month or 2 months after the retreat or something, just so that it's done
Right.
and that we make changes if we need to make changes,
Right.
or we keep those things we need to keep. I just think that feedback's really important. I don't want to lose it.
Right. I would suggest within a 2-month period. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
that's
stretch it
good.
out any longer than that.
Yeah. So that probably should be on the agenda for the next board meeting. Make sure that that's done.
Yeah, and what I can do is, in addition to the other things that we've already talked about, the bylaws stuff,
Mhm.
I can also include the evaluation results from the retreat. We had, let's see, we had about 12 responses.
Okay.
Well, there was a 13th, but they didn't actually finish the so 12 responses where people actually put in stuff
Put
for
feedback.
the evaluation. Yeah.
I think that's important information to have for when we do this mentoring and the orientation. We need to
Right.
make sure that the commissioners understand that we need you to complete the feedback when it's given, and also making sure that they understand the attendance. Isn't it 75% of the meetings? Is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think that would be a good thing to do. Who would assign the mentors? And I hate to get off track, but if we don't do it, if we don't talk about it, we won't do it. Who would
BTC used
assign
to do that. Yeah, I think board development committee used to do that though.
used
Okay.
to assign the mentor to the new member?
Yeah, and specifically in the same region that they used to do.
Okay.
If it's from Middle Tennessee, somebody mentor from there.
Right.
That's how they did it in the past.
Yeah,
Is it?
and what so the other step that the board development committee would do is they would check with other commissioners to see who was willing to be a mentor, because you can't
Right.
assign mentors if you don't know who's willing to do
Right.
it.
Right.
So I mean, and that could be a simple survey that we could send out to the commission. But verifying who wants to be a mentor, and then the board development committee would do a little look at that and see kind of who matches up in terms of either geography or skills or whatever.
Mhm. And back to the feedback, I'm wondering if somehow I know it's on the agenda, but when we adjourn, everybody's like ready to go. And you said, make sure you scan the QR code, but
Mhm.
if we can make that somehow part of the meeting before we adjourn,
That's
I
a good
think you
idea,
get more.
Greg. Yeah. Before we can adjourn,
Yeah.
you must complete the
Right.
feedback.
Yeah.
I like
I
that.
mean, okay.
All right, let's go down. I
Thank
think
you.
Greg said he wants to keep the application part 4.4.1 to 4.4. So I'm going to go to 5.1. Interested
Okay.
potential members discuss and recommend slate. That's what we do at the retreat. Ask potential candidates for, different positions, vote on slate of officers.
Okay. Right.
Keep it, Greg, or
Oh yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Do we want to add into this the new document that we have where they fill out an application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be great.
That would be somewhere, that would be like a 5.1A or maybe 5.2A or something like that. Wouldn't it fit there? Yeah.
But and we can always renumber these things. I mean,
Okay.
again, this is from last year, so
Okay.
we can put stuff in there and figure out the numbering later.
Yes. Yeah.
We have more,
Application.
much more, Neelam.
The
You got a-
application template, Anthony, I'm sorry, Greg, I'm just telling you the template for application. Yeah. Okay, so there is another one, 6.1 commission database. Review and identify commission members completing terms, order recognition items if needed, create certificates, review incentive structure, pins, shirts, t-shirts, all that stuff. So this is just a commission database and their recognition and all that, and their gear.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jim's been keeping us on track with that. I think that's something we need to keep, of course.
Okay, we'll just keep that then. 7.1, that's the last one on the routine, attendance
Okay.
trackers. Monitor member participation in quarterly meetings and activities and develop methods to re-engage. And it has attendance trackers 7.1 and 7.2 is letters. What do you want to do about that? Anthony, just please keep it up.
We don't have a system in place right now to track that, do we? Well, I mean, you got the roll call for the for the.
I track attendance at the commission meetings, but what the executive committee discussed was to start also tracking attendance at committee meetings as well, which we don't currently do.
Right.
So we'll need to figure out a way to do that that's consistent across all the committees. We haven't figured that out yet, but I do have the data for commission members at the committee,
Right.
sorry, the full commission meetings.
That's something we can work on, I think. So
So
was that the
keep
last
it,
routine?
That was the last routine, but now
Okay.
we're gonna get
Well, no,
into the.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
Neelam, that was the last one on that page. It continues on the next page.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, this committee has a really long set of routine stuff because it's
Sorry.
got
Yeah.
a lot of things to do.
You're right. Okay, so 7.3, send letters to non-participating commission members based on executive director and chair input. Engage committee chairs to brainstorm ideas to increase commission member participation between meetings. Request that each committee submit 2 accomplishments to be celebrated at the retreat. I'm sorry, I'm going to read it again. It says that send letters to non-participating commission members based on executive director and chair input. Basically sending letters to the members, commission members who, who don't participate like regularly our
Okay.
quarterly meetings.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
engage committee chairs to brainstorm ideas to increase commission member participation between meetings.
Okay.
Request that each committee submit 2 accomplishments to be celebrated at the retreat.
Okay. I like that.
Okay. All right.
Keeping all of those.
Keeping all of it. Okay. Then 8.1 is previous agendas. Create agenda, and it is for our retreat, annual retreat. Plan for logistics, catering, lodging, dinner, service project, transportation, and all that. Identify educational needs, DEI, emergency preparedness. I think DEI need to be deleted from here too.
Right.
I believe. but we can keep emergency preparedness. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, well, those were specific things that were in the previous state service plan, because the previous state service plan talked about both of those things, which is why they're in this plan, or sorry, in the old annual plan for this committee. The current state plan doesn't have this kind of specific stuff. I mean, it does have a goal to have a kind of a well-functioning commission and staff. So we could kind of take a look at that in terms of what it says. And if the committee wants to put specific things in here, then we could put specific things. But I mean, I think it's also okay just to have it be kind of generic and say, identify educational needs.
They remove it.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
sounds good. Did you say anything, Terry? I'm sorry. No, okay.
I
All
think
right.
Yvonne, did
Yvonne.
you say something?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said, I think we should remove it. So leave it highlighted yellow. That means remove, right?
Yes, yes. 9, thank you recommendation letter. All applicants to VT Commission invite to Friends of VT Board. Yeah, so that is just the all applicants to VT Commission invite to Friends of VT Board if they want to be on the VT Board, Friends of VT Board.
Now, was
Do you
that
want to
what you
keep
said?
it? Right?
Yep, I say keep it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so now the next one is Day on Hill strategy. Discuss strategy for Day on the Hill. Verify date, verify whether virtual or in person.
Yes, stay on the hill is very important.
Okay, so we'll keep that. Let's go down. It's about 1:40, so I don't know if you want to have some time to discuss vice chair application, or you want me to go on
Yeah,
to the next.
I need to pause there and work on the rest of it and go to vice chair application because I've got to get back inside. Sorry.
All right. All right, so we can just put a pause here then. Do you want us to share the screen for Nathan's application?
You can,
Brad?
but I saw where you sent it to everybody.
I did.
Everybody should
I
have
did
got
send it to
so,
everybody.
yeah. I'll just ask for any comments or recommendations based on his application. That was the only one, of course, that we received. So I personally think he would be a great
Yep, good candidate.
the
You're breaking up, Greg. For me.
I said I think he's proven that he's committed to the mission and vision of the commission.
Agreed.
Any comment?
I agree. I think he's very passionate. I think he's got the skills to
Yeah.
fill in that position, and I think he'll make a really good vice chair, and hopefully move on to be chair at some point if he's interested in the position, so desires.
So can we assume by consensus that we'll forward this to the full commission to be voted on? Anybody disagree, I guess? Not, okay. So we
Greg,
have
I
it.
have a question about how you want to do that at the commission meeting. I think there's a couple ways to handle it. One is you or someone else from the committee can nominate Nathan for the vice chair role, and then have the commission vote on it. Or we could present a slate, which would just be one office and one person, kind of like what we do for the full slate of officers at the retreat. I don't really have
Okay, I
any.
think,
This is the first time we've had to do this,
yeah.
so I don't know what would be the
Okay.
best way to do it.
Well, I think we've given everybody an opportunity to make it known if they are interested or not, and his was the only application, so I have a problem with me making that recommendation to the full commission to be
Yes,
voted on.
agreed. I think that Greg should make the recommendation on behalf of the Board Development Committee.
Okay. Well,
Alright.
in that case, I'm not gonna prepare that document that we usually project that has the slate of officers. I'm not gonna do that.
Okay,
Okay.
I think until the commission votes on it, right? Or I don't know, whatever works for you, Jim. I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I don't
well,
think we
it's-
need it if it's going to be based on Greg's recommendation per the committee, correct? Am I wrong in that, Jim?
I think, yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think we necessarily need it. I mean,
Okay,
if it were more than one office and there were more than one person interested, I
gotcha.
think it would be useful. But since it's just one office and one person, I think
Okay.
you can just nominate it. I do think, according to Robert's Rules of Order, you have to allow any nominations from the floor.
Nominations. Sure.
But if there are no further nominations, then you can just move on to the vote.
I have
I
no
think,
problem
I
with
mean,
that.
Yvonne, you're probably more familiar with Robert's Rules of Order than I am, but I think that's how it
No,
works.
what you said is absolutely correct. When Greg makes his recommendation, then he makes a call for nominations from the floor. And there
Right.
probably won't be any because only one person, took the time to fill out the application. And then we would
Exactly.
vote on him.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. I think we're clear on that.
If
that-
there's a nomination from the floor, let's just say that happens because somebody's just really excited, I mean, just for our clarity, would then we ask a couple of questions based on this document? That's what I thought. That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
and it would depend on what the agenda looks like too.
Right.
Because
Okay.
if the agenda is jam-packed, that might need to
Yeah.
be like a separate session altogether. When
Okay.
you have
Okay.
more than one person.
I would rather be prepared.
Right. I understand.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Is that it, Neelam? Mr. Porter,
And public comment. We had a public comment. We had
Oh, I'm
state service
sorry.
plan that we already talked about in the application, so.
You said we don't have any public comment, or we do?
Doesn't seem like it, but
No, I
don't
did not receive any requests for public comment,
Okay.
and I don't believe we have any members of the public on the call.
Okay. All right. Seeing there are no public comments, no visitors on the call, I offer a motion that we adjourn the meeting of the Board Development Committee.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your
Thank
service.
you for
All right.
joining. Truly
Thanks, everybody,
appreciate
so
it.
much.
Thank you.
Mhm.
See you next month.
Bye-bye.
I'm gonna stop
I'm
the
sorry.
recording.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but
Hey, we
No,
got a
no,
lot
you're
done.
fine. Thank you.
all right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg, once again. Thanks a lot.